Hey, I'm John from Magpul, and today we are going to talk about our carbine stock line. As you can see from the table, we make a lot of carbine stocks, but they've all got some things in common. They are strong, they're made to fit your gun optimally, they're made to fit you optimally, and they're made to address a specific need, anywhere from a very minimal, very small footprint stock to a fully featured precision rifle stock. And when we talk about a strong stock, one of the things we put a lot of effort into at Magpul is adhering to a mill testing standard that it doesn't matter if you're buying our least expensive, least featured stock or our most featured, most expensive stock. They all meet or exceed TOP 3-2-045 mill standards for environmental tolerance, rough handling, chemical compatibility, anything that applies to a stock in that TOP, our stocks meet or exceed. So that's the U.S. Army's test operations procedure for small arms, handheld shoulder-mounted weapons, and machine guns. So it doesn't matter whether we're talking hot, cold, wet, dry, salt water, grit performance, any environment where U.S. service members may be required to serve, the Magpul butt stocks will perform in that environment. That includes 5-axis drop test from 5 feet off the ground, from -60 to 180 degrees, which a lot of stocks don't do. When you start to deviate from what we'd all consider room temperature, their performance isn't going to be the same. And that's kind of what we want to deliver when we make any butt stock, the same level of performance in any environment. Our stocks aren't always going to be the lightest. We prefer to make them the right weight, not the lightest weight, in that we need to use all the material necessary to meet all those standards without any excess. So we want the most efficiency we can get, where it might not be the lightest stock on the market, but it's going to be the best performing in its category. To accommodate all those conditions you might come across, there's a lot of things you don't see, which could be stainless springs, hardened pins, phosphate, nitride, nickel boron small components for corrosion resistance. And then our polymer composition is a big one. You may see out there on the internet, hey, we use the same polymer Magpul does. They don't. It's not the same. This is a proprietary blend. We own it. We're the only people that use it. And you know when you get a Magpul stock, you're getting that proprietary polymer blend that's generally going to outperform off-the-shelf materials that other people may use. One of the other things we look at, hinted at it in the beginning, is fit to your gun. One of the most inconsistent things on an AR-15 is the dimensions of the buffer tube. Not super solid dimensions, called out in the government's TDP even. There's not a lot of critical dimensions on it, which makes it really hard to fit every tube perfect. In fact, it's impossible. Some of our stocks have a mechanism like the CTR, the MO-SL, that optimize the fit on that tube mechanically. But all of our stocks are made to fit optimally on what we feel like is the right span of tubes. So generally, when you get a tube and a Magpul stock, you may get a better fit than you do with other brands. Ergonomics and human interface is another thing that anytime you look at any Magpul product, not just a butt stock, you're going to see built into it. It's part of our design process. It's actually what Magpul was founded on, right? How to improve the human interface and make a piece of your equipment work for you, not against you, with the original Magpul to pull a magazine from your pouch. That same human interface emphasis carries forward to this day through the first butt stock, the M93, the PRS stock, Magpul's second stock, and then the CTR, which is known the world around, probably one of the most prolific carbine stocks on the planet at this point for an AR, and a lot of other platforms people put them on. So when we roll all of that together, you get a purpose-built, strong stock, fits the gun great, fits you great, and does exactly what we advertise it to over any span of environmental conditions. So when you look at the design features of all the Magpul butt stocks, one of the things you're going to notice, they've all got a non-slip rubber butt pad. Some of them have the option, like the CTR, where you can actually take the butt pad off if you want to shorten the stock. Some of them require the butt pad, but generally one of the things we've always found that people like is a well-designed butt pad that's not going to let the gun slide around on your shoulder. So any Magpul stock you buy is going to have that feature. One of the other things we look at, one of the points of contact on a rifle is your cheek weld. We optimize the cheek weld on all of our stocks. We put a lot of effort into it. A lot of the geometry of the mechanisms on our stock are made to support that optimized cheek weld to get your head in a perfect position to get a great sight picture. And then there's small features like a charging handle chamfer on the front of all the stocks. So when you pull your charging handle to the rear, it's not going to snag on the front of the stock and impede the function of the gun. And then one thing we believe in is every one of our stocks should have the ability to mount a sling on it. Even if it's a simple footman's loop on the Mo stock or something like the PRS Gen 3 where you've actually got 5 ways to mount a sling, front, rear, left, right, footman's loop, QD cups, you name it. We believe you need to be able to mount a sling in the manner you want on your gun. Even the ones with footman's loops, you can generally add a QD to and mount your sling in a way that works for you and it's working for you, not against you.